Alright, so it's no surprise that the price of everything is just really high today. Everything sucks. I used to really enjoy technology, and now that it's like 80% AI slop and it's making everything very expensive, I would not say I'm into tech as much anymore as I used to be. But that really only is newer technology. Older technology is still pretty cool to me. I've always liked the Raspberry Pis. They're pretty neat for what they can do. You can, theoretically, if you have a bigger gigabyte RAM version than I have, you could run a full desktop OS from this. I mean, you can on this too, but I never found it to be a great experience. But even though I only have 2 gigabytes of RAM in this, one thing it could be good for is gaming, being a gaming console. I had a Raspberry Pi 1B when Raspberry Pi was first kind of a thing, and it could even play some N64 games, so I think that a Raspberry Pi 4 is going to be a great experience. Along with that, I'm kind of curious because, like, there are a lot of Android-based gaming devices out there now, and heck, you can use your normal flagship phone to play pretty much any game up through, like, PS3. But I'm curious if this cheap-ass phone that I got like a couple years ago is like a work phone, which I would have been way better off and gotten like a Moto G Play or something, but I'm curious if this cheap phone can do any gaming too. Because you could probably find something like this in like bargain bin, Goodwill type stuff. So yeah, today we are going to just go and see how far we can get with gaming on both of these. I feel like the Raspberry Pi is definitely going to be a good experience, but this, I'm not so sure about. But I have this GameSir Pocket Taco that I'm not the biggest fan of. The D-pad's like kind of mushy, but I mean, it's neat and I want to try it out for the gimmick. Because the whole gimmick is that you clamp it in here, and then it's kind of like playing a Game Boy. So if I could, play something like this, it would be kind of fun. I could do this with my, normal phone too, but if I can just like have a dedicated like Game Boy-esque device, that could be cool. So yeah, let's get right into it. So you may be curious what I'm going to use to make this Raspberry Pi a gaming console. And that's a good question because there's a lot of stuff out there. There's RetroPie, which I think I used in the past. You could just straight up load emulators on whatever desktop environment based OS, like Raspberry Pi for instance. I'm going to go with Batocera because I am familiar with Rocknix, which is commonly used for retro handhelds, for instance, Retroid Pockets, for instance. And I figure it's going to be similar enough to what I like nowadays because it is Emulation Station. It's kind of a nice desktop interface. And it should work out of the box with all the Raspberry Pi stuff at the very least. So that's why I'm going with that. Now to show this on here, I have this portable monitor that my boyfriend let me use. Hopefully it will actually show up, and I don't need a capture card. If I have to go with the capture card, I guess I will do that. But yeah, to get Batocera though, we need a computer to flash the image onto. And for that, we're bringing out the dongle book from the last episode. I actually ended up installing CachyOS on this because I was having issues with the audio in Bluefin, and because it's an immutable OS, it's kind of hard to install any custom driver on it. And also, the screen is dirtier than it was last time. I'm not sure how it got so dirty. Hopefully it doesn't show as much on camera. But yeah, so I chose CachyOS because I can actually install custom drivers without much issue, and it's all the rage right now anyway, so I figured I would give it a try. I should already have the site for Batocera ready because I was making sure that it worked with my version of Raspberry Pi. It does, and Raspberry Pi 5B as well. I'm not sure if... Oh yeah, they support, I think, all the Raspberry Pis that are out there, so if you happen to have one laying around, you may as well try it if you're curious. They have a lot of other supported hardware, but we are going to go with the Raspberry Pi 4B and download that. Alright, it finished downloading. So the way I normally write these images is through Etcher, since it makes things really simple. You basically just put in your file, select what drive you want to flash to, and then it flashes pretty simply. Now I have to get a dongle, because of course this is the dongle book with the one port. I also need to get a micro SD card reader, so I will do that Okay, I forgot that this adapter that I have actually has a USB-C bit, so I don't even need to get a dongle. Well, a dongle for the dongle. So if we look at the contents, I believe that it just has FIDE OS. Yeah, I was kind of testing this as just like a kiosk type, just guest Chrome OS machine with FIDE OS. And I don't really care about that anymore, so let's just flash it from... Oh, I actually already downloaded this, I guess. But we'll take the one that I just downloaded, select the target, make sure that's the right one. I do know that that SD card is 32 gigabytes. Select, and then flash. Now we wait. Be back when that's done. Alright. Looks like it was successfully flashed, which is pretty much all we need to do at this point. We can eject this drive and put in the Raspberry Pi, and then we're pretty much all set. So let me just take this, put it into the Raspberry Pi, and then we just need to get our convoluted monitor setup done. I forget that this is kind of weird. My boyfriend was showing me how this was supposed to go, or rather, we were trying to figure out how to do it from a YouTube video because it was too complicated for our smooth brains. And this cable is the one I was using for the monitor. And then one really fun thing about this monitor, and like 80% of portable monitors out there it seems, is that it's mini HDMI. And the problem is that the Raspberry Pi is not HDMI, it is micro HDMI. So the setup that I have is a little convoluted. So we have the mini HDMI here. I think it was a cable that I had laying around. And then I have an HDMI coupler to plug that into an HDMI to micro HDMI cable. So a little convoluted, but it should work. Also, I hope you like the Beware cameo. I forgot that my plushie, when I get out the chair and it spins around, it just kind of goes in camera. So, oh crap. This is a problem with this like quote-unquote stand, is it's just like magnetic and basically attached by vibes. Okay. Convoluted setup part 1 done. Then I have the power brick that came with the Cana kit, which honestly I could have saved a lot of money by just getting a 30-watt power brick myself, but I do like that this has a switch because Raspberry Pi does not turn off on its own. So we have that, and then I put in the micro SD card, so we should be all set. That seems good so far. Ah, crap. Anytime I try to adjust this, it just falls. This looks like an old Windows 95 install. I'm guessing... Oh, that looks more normal. I've only really done this with portable devices where it's just already pretty much set up, but that's looking pretty good. Oh, wow, that was fast. Didn't think it was going to be that fast. Alright, now, the only problem is I'm not sure how I connect this. Maybe I can just do it wired for now. I'm not even sure if this controller works with anything besides Bluetooth. So let me get a cable to connect to this first. Let's plug this in. And then plug this into Pi. Oh crap. I have so much crap in front of me that it's kind of hard to manage all these. Okay. Plug that in. I'm not sure. Oh, that seems pretty connected to me. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Wow. So I think we just press start to get all the menu options, and I'm hoping that, oh whoops, it's Xbox layout down as A, I'm assuming. Yeah, there we go. And I think we can just pair Bluetooth pads automatically. Oh, can I just like unplug this and then, I don't remember how you pair it, is it just these two buttons? That seems like a pairing blink. Doesn't seem like it is detecting it. The Raspberry Pi should have Bluetooth. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Connected? Is it working? Oh, shit. Also, there is no audio. Also, it says it's like trusting wireless controller up there. Not sure why that's kind of just stuck there. I think the sound settings... Actually, I don't think the settings are here. I think they're actually in like system settings if you want to choose a device. First of all, I am not in Europe, Paris, so let's fix that. I wish we could actually search these up instead of manually paging through. And then, yeah, here we go. I think there are multiple HDMIs. We'll go with the one that doesn't show two different ones, maybe. And then that, is that working? Genuinely. Oh, okay. Yeah, now it's working. The music is cool and all, but I don't want it active. There we go. Okay, so the settings don't apply until after you back out, which I did not remember. Maybe Rockmix does it differently. But there's a lot of settings here. I don't think I really care to mess around with them right now. Let's just get some games on this. Alright, so I think I can transfer files over the network. And this is not connected to Wi-Fi, so I think we just enable Wi-Fi and enter my Wi-Fi details here. And then hopefully that connects. It's taken a second after I pressed back, so hopefully that's a good sign. Wi-Fi enabled. Okay, sweet. And then saying IP address not connected. Well, back to the net. I almost called this a netbook. It may as well be one. Back to the dongle book we go. Now, if I'm really desperate, I could just go the external media thing, just plug in a thumb drive and transfer files that way. But that doesn't seem as nice and convenient, you know? It's not even a network indicator, which makes me think it's not actually connecting to Wi-Fi. Let's just try turning it off and on. Well, that's a little frustrating, but you know what? This is like retro games, so it doesn't really matter that much if it's online connected or not. So you know what? Let's do this the old-fashioned way. Let's get a thumb drive and copy stuff from this to this. Alright, I looked through my horde of thumb drives that I normally just use to install Linux distros nowadays, and I have one of these cheap Walmart Onina ones. Should work just fine, but I also need a dongle because, of course, dongle book. Of course, this would be the case for any Apple laptop now, but this one's particularly egregious. Alright, and let's just make a folder. We'll just call it games. Wire there. Two there? Oh, okay. And now we just need to grab my legally acquired games from my NAS. And we'll just pull a sampling of some Metroid Zero Mission. We'll do a bit of Super Mario World. We'll do some Zelda 2, which people really hate for no good reason. And you know what? We'll try Symphony of the Night. Alright, that feels like a good sampling of various games. So let's just go ahead and eject that. And I don't think we'll need you anymore, so you can go off to the side. Okay, don't need the dongle anymore either. You know what? It says F1 files. It makes me think that I'm going to need a keyboard for this. It's kind of annoying that you can't actually access the files without a frickin' external keyboard. You'd think they would have a controller interface for it. Maybe it does work once you have the keyboard in. But first I want to show this keyboard because I like it. It's kind of cute, and I don't use it a whole ton because I prefer my Alice Layout one. But I do like this one because it's just got like a panda on it, and the feet are little paws. It's pretty cute. I like it a lot. And it actually sounds really nice too. Like, I don't know if you can hear that sound, but it's pretty nice. But I'm not a big fan of RGB that just consumes battery. Alright, so F1. Whoa. Oh, I did not expect it to just be a bare bones file browser. I guess that explains everything, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to navigate this with just my keyboard. Yeah, here we go. So we'll copy all that. Is it Batocera? No. ROMs. That seems likely. Yeah, and then we'll just paste into here and let everything merge, because I think, hopefully I titled all the folders correctly. Oh, it's asking in that other window. Oh, okay, I need a mouse. I'll be back in a sec. I also like this 8BitDo mouse because it's got like that original Xbox aesthetic. Okay, this is far from the nice console experience that I was hoping it would be, but I guess some sacrifices have to be made. Oh, I can only skip or overwrite? Really? We'll just cancel the whole operation and manually copy things over one by one then. Okay, and now how do I close window? Hopefully. Okay, cool. Now, hopefully, I don't have to worry about going back into that for however long. Now let's see how the actual experience is once you actually have games on here. So I'm not seeing the game that I put on, Zelda 2. There's 2048. I'm guessing I noticed when I was copying files there were some extra files in some of the folders. I saw like Donkey Kong in Super Nintendo. That looks like a very bootleggy Donkey Kong. I wonder if I just have to like restart and then the files will show up. So let's just do that real quick. Alright, and hopefully now our games actually show up. Oh, I need to reconnect this, of course. Alright. There we go. So that's one disadvantage of not having this connected to the internet, is that you have to like manually create the box arts. Because you do have in this menu a scraper setting, so you can actually automatically pull images. So that is one disadvantage. But besides that, like, the games are Space Twins. Ooh. Everything's showing up. Symphony of the Night as well. Yeah, so one disadvantage to struggling with the internet situation. I could like plug this in the Ethernet right there and connect to the internet that way. That probably works without a doubt. But let's just see how these games run. Now, of course, like NES and Super Nintendo are going to run flawlessly, but I'm curious just like what the out-of-the-box experience is. Whoa, I need to turn down that volume. But look at that. It's running pretty nice. It even has like these cool... I usually like to turn these off. I'm sure there's a way to do it. But I do like the little like polish of just having those. The volume is still loud. But yeah, I like the little touch of having those. And I assume this works just fine. We'll just do that and see. Well, this definitely seems like Zelda 2. No doubt about it. Let's see if I can get the trophy without dying. Oh wait, this isn't it. I'm a freaking idiot. Alright, let's see if I can do this without dying. There's an Octorok up there too, I see you. Oh god, I forgot there's like a Garaya here. Don't kill me! Oh. I got it. Let's see if I can get back out without dying. I killed both those Octoroks, so it's just that one bat you can't see. Normally you, oh, okay, I lived. Normally you're supposed to get the candle, and then that's really easy, but it's fun to just, like, try and do that. Okay, so that works. So one thing about Batocera that I also looked up is that to exit games, it's just, like, the home button on whatever control you have, if it's, like, a more modern controller. Otherwise, it's select, and then you press start to exit the game. So if I do this, I should exit out. And there we go. Cool. Now let's try Super Nintendo. Once again, they have like a cool, this is the console. Let's make sure all the controls work. Okay. Yeah, those are working. Yeah, seems like everything's working. All right. So let's exit out of that. Should put a Nintendo 64 game on this, especially because Symphony of the Night is not the most... Oh, missing BIOS files. Oh, I should have copied some, but let's see if it boots anyway. Huh? Seems like that runs just fine. Yeah, I think the GBA thing is a little more distracting with this because I would like the bigger aspect ratio, so that's something I want to figure out. Also, I think you can like fast forward if you do hotkey plus right, so I can just like skip the intro. Okay. Well, that's cool. And then I think you can rewind if you do like... I guess you have to set it up, but I think it's left. We'll do rewind. Of course, I don't think it really matters with this game that much. It's just like a couple of cutscenes. Would be super useful with Pokemon, though, for sure. Who needs long beam? I can do this with just the short beam. Fuck. Maybe not. Ah. Well, anyway, yeah, you can see that this works just fine. So the last game I'm going to test is going to be Symphony of the Night, which should also run. I don't see why it wouldn't, except I also don't have BIOS files for this, so maybe we'll have to copy those as well. So maybe it'll run anyway. Oh? Seems like that's running just fine. I don't remember how you do the high luck thing, so we're just going to do... It would be funny to just like skip the death part of stealing all of your things, but... Oh, wait, disconnect? Oh, because I held home for a while, huh? So I guess that's one disadvantage for a lot of controllers, like 8BitDo ones, where home also turns it off. Oh, you can just skip a list. I didn't think you could actually skip that cutscene, but also I am not the greatest at this Richter section. Great voice acting, of course, the classic. A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. Have at you. Iconic. Anyway, I'm not the greatest at this section. Also, I don't know why I got rid of the cross. I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, I think you get the point. Okay, none of the hotkeys are now working now that that controller turned off. Anyway, I think this will be nice to kind of further flesh out. And if you have a Raspberry Pi yourself, I think just this would be a good way to use it if it's just collecting dust, because mine is, and I think it'd be nice to use it for that purpose. So with that said, let's move on to seeing how the Android phone does, because I think that will struggle a lot more with even like PS1 games in this, but we'll have to see. Alright, so now time for the Android phone. This is, as I mentioned earlier, a very cheap phone. I think I got it for like $100. Honestly, way too much for the phone. It should have been like half the price, because I mean it would be fine for a $50 phone, but alas it is not. But we're gonna try and see what games it runs, because I could be desperate and want to play some games on the go without buying, you know, something like a Retroid or whatever. So yeah, let's see how far we can get with this thing. Shut up, I do not want suggestions. Added to empty space. No, I said no. Why are you doing this? At the end of the day, we're not even going to use the stock launcher. We're going to use a totally different launcher. And this is what I mean about this phone being slow. Like, I tapped that to say no, don't give me suggestions, and now it's just... it's stuck there. But whatever. I'm going to be not using the stock launcher anyway. So that is actually the first part of this, is I want a launcher that's much more controller friendly. But I want one that works in vertical mode, because like I mentioned earlier, this controller, it's nice to be able to like plop it on there and then, you know, play it like this. So I need a launcher that works vertically so I can, you know, navigate like this. I could just deal with RetroArch's interface probably, but I'm not sure how much I want to deal with that. I'd rather just like go straight from the launcher into RetroArch, because RetroArch is kind of a pain. So I was looking and I found this one called Plain Launcher. You can see I was already like looking for it on this phone. And I think this one will do what I want to do. Actually, the GitHub page didn't have downloads, so we're going to go on the itch.io. I think this is going to work for what I want, and it seems pretty minimal, pretty nice, just gets you straight to what you want, no bloat. So we'll just go with that. Yes, install. Cool. And before we open that, I think it's very controller based, so we are going to pair this Pocket Taco. Once again, hold that. Hold both these buttons to get it to start pairing. And then hopefully it should just pop up. I think it's wireless controller. I've always found it funny that my CPAP machine is also there. I wonder what I would want to connect to Bluetooth for, but whatever. Okay, I recognize it as a mouse. That's interesting. But okay, seems like that connected just fine. So now let's go to the plain launcher. Now I'm going to set this as a default launcher. Hopefully, I'm assuming that's an option, but we'll have to see. I'm assuming I want it to have all files access. Sure. Press confirm button, which is kind of not visible from the camera, but that's okay. Okay. Is it the other button? It is connected. Okay, can I just tap it? Hopefully I can decrease the font size. It does seem to work in portrait mode, so that's a good start. Grant file. Oh, I might actually have to remove this for the time being. Plane launcher, it already has access. Cool. Oh, okay, I can swipe. Configure it. I think this is an actual menu now. Action blocks. Okay, that is just how you get to the apps, and that means it's detecting the controller. But X is confirmed? And I seemingly have no way of going back. Whoa. Okay, I think it's not detecting this as a normal controller. I think it's like some direct input thing. I'm not sure Plane Launcher is playing well with this, which would be a shame because it is working vertically. Well, it's a shame because oh, wait a minute. Oh, the D-pad is not working, but I think everything else is. Controls. Maybe we just need to do this. Actually, first we need to make the font size a lot smaller because this is kind of ridiculous. That looks like change size. Oh, whoa. Now we're on the opposite side of ridiculousness. Okay, that seems a lot more reasonable. Now to the controls. That seems like nothing. I mean, it's not the worst thing. I could just deal with the fact that I have to scroll and press a button to get in the game before doing anything. So I might just leave this for now. Now we need to actually set it as the main launcher so I don't have to deal with Google's crap. We want to go to apps. Hello. Apps. Default apps. Home app. And Plane Launcher. Okay, so it does count as a launcher. And then we can just access all the Android apps from here if we really need to. Now, I have this thumb drive here that I copy the games onto because we need some way of getting files on here as well. And I'm hoping that this is an OTG port on this phone. I'm not actually sure. Files, USB flash drive. Aha, cool. I'm guessing I can copy all these to the main device storage. Let's just make, oh wait, Plane Launchers are good. Games? Oh, they already made a folder structure, so I'm gonna have to like copy these games one by one. Give me a second while I copy all these one by one. Alright, now that I have everything copied over, we can now somehow get the games in. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I'm missing a step. We actually need emulators to be able to do anything. So I am going to go back to Chrome. Oh, also I can remove this now. Shut up, TikTok, no one likes you. Let's go to RetroArch's site. And, oh my god, TikTok is really aggressive with those ads. Let's get RetroArch. I'm not gonna download frickin' TikTok. No. Wow, these TikTok ads are ridiculous. I should have installed Firefox on this and put an ad blocker on. Anyway, let's download the nightly version. Open that. I said open that. I said open. Hello? Guess we'll just go into downloads. It really does not like my left index finger for some reason. Install anyway. Really? This is like their latest version, so I'm pretty sure that's not correct, but whatever. Alright, and yeah, here's RetroArch. It does work with the D-pad, so this might actually be preferable to Plane Launcher, but whatever. Alright, we have RetroArch, so hopefully we still don't have anything here. Do we need to like go into... Oh, this is for like box art scraping. I don't really need that. What I need is just for the games to show up, which I'm not. Maybe we just go to quit? Oh, that just takes us to the normal launcher. Oh, okay, yeah, restarting it, we actually do get our games available. So, GBA, NES, PlayStation, which is cool, but I don't think this is going to work because I don't even have any cores installed for RetroArch. So So let's actually go back into RetroArch and install some cores. So I think it's load core. Oh, the buttons are swapped here. Definitely not confusing. So I'm guessing for GBA, it's probably MGBA. Oh, damn it. And then we'll download SNES 9X, just the current version. And then we'll install FCEU. And then I usually see people recommend DuckStation instead of like doing things through this. The only problem is that I think I need a BIOS file, which I should have copied onto this, so I will, once I get to that point, I will just cut and get that on. Also, I just realized I should probably install DuckStation. Oh, it's just on the Google Play Store. Alright, now that hopefully all that pain is over with, now hopefully this is just plug and play. I didn't actually like configure anything in RetroArch, so I'm not sure if this is actually gonna work. Seems like that's a no. I did open it. I'm guessing it's using a different core. Oh, there we go. Select default core, so it's the Y button that lets you do that. Aha, GPSP. Maybe I should have done that. I think that one's a little better, especially if you want to do multiplayer. And let's just make sure all the default cores are selected according to the ones that I had picked. Now I think gaming is in order. Oh wow, that's loud. Also, the speakers on this are not great. I also need to hide the input overlay. Oh, one thing that I should do before I really get too far too is make it to where I can actually enter and exit this with hotkeys. It's very handy. Also, I want to swap the swapped buttons. But if you go into hotkeys, then you can make it to where you can quit with a controller combo. And we'll just set it to start and select. I don't think there are many games that use that without wanting the soft reset. Actually, no. Let's make the menu toggle. Start and select, and then quit. We'll do down and select. Alright, and actually surprisingly, I didn't think it was going to do this, but by default it's actually aligned well. It's not like as low as I would want it, but this is still very playable actually. Yeah, because it's not like in the center and being partially obscured by this, so that's cool. And so far this game is running well, which I mean, it's a GBA game, it really should run well, because it's not that intensive. This is a little awkward to grip because the weight's it's kind of heavy up here. So it's hard to do like the L and R buttons. Part of that is also me like trying to angle this so you can actually see it without all the light glare. But yeah, this is actually, I'm surprised. Figured this is going to struggle even on GBA games, but no, it's actually fine. Well, unsurprisingly, Zelda 2 works just fine, so that's cool. I played this so many times and I don't know why I just ran into that. Permission denied. I think it's because I haven't even properly opened DuckStation for the first time. And yeah, that's fine. I'm not even sure if this processor is going to handle Vulkan, so let's just say OpenGL. I think just the defaults are probably all we're going to get, so let's just go with that. Oh, and this is where I need the BIOS file, so I will be right back. Alright, BIOS imported. Even though I think we'll just be using the plain launcher stuff, we may as well add them here as well. I don't need retro achievements. Okay, so that's being detected there, which is awesome. So far this seems to be running fine. Granted, this is a 2D game, but still, dang. Actually, how do you make that jump? Oh, like that. I didn't think you could actually get into this except as Alucard, and I wonder what the implication is if you just like take all these items as Richter. Can you just not get him as Alucard anymore? Because that would be kind of funny if so. Anyway, it seems like that's working fine, so I think the next test is to see if it will actually run N64 games, because I thought that all the stuff that I had was already going to push this to its limits, but apparently not. So I will be back once I get that stuff ready. So N64 and GameCube games obviously require analog sticks for the most part. So I brought out a different phone controller. I have GameSir, I think it's XR something light. I think this will be better suited. But as a result, I did end up installing Daigisho because I know for sure it will work with a controller and it is horizontally optimized. I don't think you can even go into portrait mode with it, which is fine for this purpose. I've only copied the files, I haven't actually set up any of the platforms, so we will do that right away. I only care about N64 and GameCube right now, so we'll say Nintendo 64 and GameCube. And I think so you need to add paths to these. I put everything in the plain launcher thing, just to have everything in one place. GameCube, use this folder, and then sync. And it does automatically scrape box art. I think Daigisho is actually really nice. I've also used Beacon Launcher, and I think that's really nice too, but you have to pay for that. I think this is probably the best free option you can get. There's a lot of options you can do to like change the backgrounds that they have and change the interface color. It's pretty nice, especially for being the price of free. It does take a little bit of extra effort to set this up, and then I don't even remember how you add more platforms beyond this. I think you might have to go into settings and then download platforms. Yeah, so you can add more that way. I don't think I set up... So I downloaded Mupen 64 plus FZ, which is an Android port of this. I think it's paid. I don't remember if I paid for it. I bought it like several months ago. And then for GameCube, I installed Dolphin, which of course is the classic, and it's free on Android. So let's just see if this works out of the box. No, you do not. Without permissions. You need permissions for display status. Sure, I guess, whatever. That did not seem to work, but to be fair, I did just kind of start it without even caring about anything. There we go. And the title screen seemed to be working just fine. It wasn't like stuttering or flickering or anything, so I wonder if this game is gonna be like not bad actually. Well, damn. This game is running like perfectly. Like, I'm not noticing like any ridiculous input latency, no like frame drops. This is... I guess I could probably put up the FPS counter just to see if it really is running at a consistent 20, but I mean, this seems pretty good. Alright, time to escape the forest. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. Well, anyway, yeah, this seems to be perfect, which honestly kind of already surpassed my expectations. I thought this was just going to crash and burn and not be playable at all, but evidently, like, this is running it just fine. I could play through the entire game like this with absolutely zero complaints. So now we have to up the ante. Now let's see how GameCube games run. I figured Wind Waker would be a good one to start with, and then Melee, since Melee's much more CPU intensive. So I think we have to open Dolphin and configure that as well. I think we need to actually add the folder. And then let's also make sure our settings are like at the absolute minimum. Okay, it's already at OpenGL. Let's set you to Uber shaders to avoid and compile shaders before starting. Okay, internal resolution is already good. I think all of these are at the minimum already, so I think we can actually try it out now. Wow. Is this actually running at full speed? Oh, not quite. That seems like a pretty consistent 30, which is actually kind of wild. Okay, long intro out of the way. It's not consistently 30, and I can hear some like stutters in the audio. So I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be perfect. This is just like ever so slight. Well, I mean, currently it's not up to speed, but I'm honestly surprised it's even like this well. Like, I thought this was just gonna run this at like 5 FPS, but no, this is almost playable. And in some cases, like this is 30. I feel like you could probably maybe like change some dolphin settings and get to the point where this is playable. Unfortunately, that does not give me high hopes for Melee, but I still want to try it just to see if it works. Because I think Melee is more CPU intensive, which is probably going to be the bottleneck here. I still want to say I tried. We could also see if it's a GPU thing more than CPU. Not doing so great. Oh, now it's 60 here. Granted, this is like no GPU usage at all. Oh, you know, Fountain of Dreams is the wrong stage to pick. This is for sure gonna run awfully. Yeah, let's try a more performance stage. We'll do Yoshi's Story. Wow, okay. I'm not used to playing Melee on a controller like this if that was not evident. Once again, this is a game that you could, like, except for Fountain of Dreams, which is not surprising, you could probably play this just fine casually. But I think we have reached the limits of what this can realistically do. Like, it was struggling at Wind Waker. This is struggling in some ways, like the menus, which is surprising. The actual game is fine. So I think it's probably a graphics bottleneck more than a CPU bottleneck. Yeah, this honestly surpassed my expectations. I thought that this was going to crash and burn for a cheap garbage phone. So, you know, if you're on a budget and you really just want to play something, you could get a cheap, you know, Moto G Play. I wouldn't say get this phone. Get like if you can find it used for much less than $100, go for it. Or you could find like a used Moto G Play, something, you know, lower end, but still decently performant. You could probably run up to GameCube games on it if you really want a portable console on the go. Otherwise, I think a, you know, device like the Retroids, I think something like that's probably going to be a more consistent, reliable experience. But honestly, if I had to play on this nowadays, I would probably be satisfied. Because, I mean, I'm kind of surprised with how well this ran. I think the Raspberry Pi would, like, do this no problem. But, yeah, honestly, go for it if you want to do something like this. I think this is a good way to repurpose hardware that's just kind of lying around collecting dust. So yeah, if you liked this video, you know, do all the things that YouTubers always tell you to do. Comment, let me know your thoughts, and yeah, have a good day. Take it easy.